Hey, my name is Bruce Gilson, and I want to welcome you to another episode of our Knowledge Basics. Today we're talking Coax. All right, so now let's get into three-piece. And this is an older format, older style, but you're still gonna find it in a lot of different situations. Sometimes you're dealing with, you didn't get to make the selection on what connector you're using that day. You just gotta figure out how to do it. And so I gotta teach you how to use three-piece because it is a pretty common connector still. So let's start here, okay? When you're doing a three-piece connection for SDI, you're gonna need a wire stripper. You're probably gonna need something to cut your wire with, right? You're gonna need a wire stripper. We're gonna teach you how to use this the right way. And then you're gonna need one of these die compression kits, okay? And this particular one is probably a real preferred one. This has swappable dies, and so you wanna make sure that you have the correct die set in there for your connector type. This one does not have swappable dies. It's a fixed die set, and it doesn't have the ratcheting motion that one has. And so this would be a little bit more expensive. Typically it comes with a complete die set, and then this one would be a little bit cheaper tool. So we're gonna get into how to use that in a moment, but these would be the tools for a three-piece, okay? And really it's more like that, because this is just an extra one of those, and this is the nicer one. So the good news about three-piece is it strips the same way as the compression. So we got our wire stripper here that we talked about earlier. We're gonna take that wire strip, we're gonna put our cable in there, take in a cable to press to there. We're gonna rock it back and forth. We're not gonna twist, because we don't want the strands to go around the center post. So we got that. You might think to yourself, how does he know how many times to do that back and forth? Well, I can feel it. I can feel the blades cutting I can feel it cutting the strands. And when I feel that grindy kind of cutting stop, I know that I should have a pretty good clean cut. So that's how you do that. All right, so once again, we got our center post, and then we got our braided exterior conductor, and I'm gonna do that little Mr. Frizzy's thing that I talked about. We're gonna frizz that all out. Now, this is where things get a little bit different when you're talking the compression connector versus the three-piece connector. This outer jacket is going to help my connector complete the connection between my braided conductor and keep it safe from my solid conductor, okay? So I actually have to treat every little step differently. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this this collar, and I'm gonna slip it on back here, because he's gonna be the last thing we deal with, but we have to put him on first. And then I'm gonna take this little thing, kind of looks like a miniature bullet. See if I can get a close-up of that. It's a little thing, and that goes on the end of my center conductor. Now, on your tool that you're gonna use for your three-piece, the die set has all these different size diameters, and you wanna make sure that you have the right die set for the connector that you're using, because the way that crimps down has to match our connection, okay? So inside of this die set, I'm gonna close it, and I'm gonna show you right at the end here, there are some really small diameter dies. Sometimes the really small diameter dies are actually in the nose of your die set. And so that may be another place to look for it if you don't see it on the side there. All right, I'm gonna take my tool here, and I'm gonna make sure that it's lined up with the correct hole, and I'm gonna, got it. Now, when I do that, this one has a ratchet in it, and it won't let go until I've done the correct, amount of compression. And so that's how I know that it's right. So now that I've got that crimped on, I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna slide, and I've got that dialect through there, and I'm gonna slide this collar up here All right, and then I'm gonna, once again, take my tool. I'm gonna line up to the right hole in my die set. Oh, gotta be careful. Here we go. All right, and you hear that click, that means that I know that I clicked it all the way. All right, now I can do the tug test. Everything is nice and secure. I've got this beautiful little octagon shaped thing that's got my whole thing connected. My dialect is at the end. So that's the secret behind the 3-piece. 3 different motions. You're putting the little copper thing on, crimping it down with the right tool, then you're sliding your main piece, and then you're sliding your collar up over that, and then crimping the whole thing down to where you have that connection. Hey, thanks for joining us. I hope you learned something. If you did, make sure that you hit the subscribe and the bell and the like, and make sure you check out eventtech.av.com. We've always got fun and interesting things being added to our website as we venture out there in the world, and we're continuing to do installs and deploying large systems and event spaces. So we're so grateful that you joined us here today to learn something new, and we'll see you next time.